Good morning, South Africa and Africa at large. This is the Morning Express, brought to you by myself, Harmony Mbele. And let's take a look at your leading headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that South Africa is moving to level 1 of the lockdown. Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula approved domestic flights to 11 more airports. The Democratic Alliance has laid criminal charges against the ANC delegation for abusing of state's aircraft. And in studio today, I'll be talking to Happiness Yego, the founder of Ladies and Gentlemen, and we'll get to touch on things all heritage and also to get to know what has she been doing since the lockdown began. But allow us to take a look at your first leading stories. President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that South Africa is moving to level 1 of the lockdown. Cabinet decided on Wednesday that the country should move to alert level 1 as midnight Sunday on the 20th of September 2020.
To alert level 1. The move to alert level 1 will take effect from midnight on Sunday, the 20th of September 2020. This move recognizes that levels of infections are relatively low and that there is sufficient capacity in our health system to manage the current need. The move to alert level 1 will mean a further easing of restrictions on gatherings. Social, religious, political and other gatherings will now be permitted as long as the number of people does not exceed 50% of the normal capacity of a venue or the facility. But this must only be to a maximum of 250 people for indoor gatherings and 500 people for outdoor gatherings. Health protocols such as washing or sanitizing of hands, social distancing and mask wearing will need to be strictly observed. The maximum number of people who may attend a funeral is increased from 50 to 100 due to the higher risk of viral transmission at funerals. Night vigils are still not permitted.
Ramaphosa said that this move recognizes that level of infections are relatively low and that there is significant capacity in our health system to manage the current need. The country will gradually and continuously ease restrictions on international travel. Ramaphosa said the curfew hours will now apply between midnight and 4 a.m.
The curfew will now apply between midnight and 4 a.m. The sale of alcohol at retail outlets for home consumption is now permitted from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 1700. Alcohol will be permitted for on-site consumption in licensed establishments only and with strict adherence to the curfew. In the next few days, the updated regulations will be published and ministers will provide detailed briefings on all these measures. The Department of Public Service and Administration will shortly issue circulars to all public servants on the measures that will enable the return of all areas of government to full operation safely and without undue delay. Because there are several remaining restrictions that can only be enacted through disaster regulations, we have already extended the national state of disaster by a month to the 15th of October 2020. The move to alert level 1 removes many of the
And now taking a look at your second story. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula approved domestic flights to 11 more airports. The airports where domestic passengers fly the flights are acceptable according to the government gazettes are as follows: Bramfisher International Airport, Cape Town International, East London, George Airport, Lenasia Airport, Polokwane Airport, Port Elizabeth International Airport and Richards Bay, just to name a few. The country will gradually and continuously ease restrictions on international travel on level 1 lockdown. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced last night that they will be allowing travel into and out of South Africa for business, leisure and other travels with effect from the 1st of October 2020.
And invite travelers to enjoy our mountains, our beaches, our vibrant cities, and our wildlife game parks in safety and confidence. Also, as part of the gradual return to regular economic and social activity, the hours of curfew have been changed. The curfew will now apply between midnight and 4 a.m. The sale of alcohol at retail outlets for home consumption is now permitted from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 1700. Alcohol will be permitted for on-site consumption in licensed establishments only and with strict adherence to the curfew. In the next few days, the updated regulations will be published and ministers will provide detailed briefings on all these measures. The Department of Public Service and Administration will shortly issue circulars to all public servants on the measures that will enable the return of all areas of government to full operation safely and without undue delay. Because there are several remaining restrictions that can only be enacted through disaster regulations, we have already extended the national state of disaster by a month to the 15th of October 2020. The move to alert level 1 removes many of the remaining restrictions on economic activity, although it may be some time before it is.
And our next story. The Democratic Alliance has laid criminal charges against the ANC delegation for abusing a state aircraft, saying that the party has already admitted guilt in this regard, as well as for flouting COVID-19 lockdown regulations. In a statement issued by Cobus Marius, DA Shadow Minister of Defense said, just like ordinary South Africans who now bear the burden of potential criminal records for breaking lockdown regulations, the 10 ANC delegates who undertook this illegal trip in an Air Force jet must face the legal consequences, especially after admitting to the crime that they have committed and must face criminal charges. Marius urged that this should be punishable, especially after Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula made it clear that he had not granted the delegation's permission for the trip, as it is required by the Level 2 lockdown regulations, and referred all questions about it all on the Defense Minister, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. The DA MP said that the ANC's administration, the admission rather of guilt has promised to pay back the money should not deter Cyril Ramaphosa to release the report from Minister Mapisa-Nqakula. The President and the nation have the right to seize what the report has said. Spokesperson of the ANC said earlier in this week that the members of the governing party had profusely apologized for the trip and will reimburse the state of its cost incurred by the delegation.
As the ANC would like to appreciate the success of our delegation mission of national interest to Zimbabwe with both hands, because a successful and prosperous Zimbabwe as a neighbor is good for South Africa, the SADC region, and our beloved continent Africa. We hope and trust that the positive results of our consultation will go a long way in ensuring regional stability and growth in the two countries. Finally, is that in our quest to achieve this mission, we traveled in an unusual manner and profusely humble ourselves where we went wrong during the lockdown, and will reimburse the government for the cost incurred on behalf of our delegation. our delegation is under quarantine in line with our lockdown.
On Wednesday, government informed South Africans that the world on the details pertaining to the official funeral of the late human rights activist and lawyer, Advocate George Bizos. Advocate George Bizos passed away at the age of 92 in the afternoon of Wednesday, on the 9th of September 2020. Following this, President Cyril Ramaphosa declared that the struggle champion will be honored with a special funeral, category number 1. The funeral services of Advocate Bizos will take place at the Geert Oudbox Church in Johannesburg on Thursday, the 17th of September 2020, starting from 11 o'clock this afternoon. This will be followed by a burial at West Park Cemetery in Randburg, Johannesburg. Messages of condolences of the family to the family and friends of George Bizos. And now we take a look at our conversation that we're going to have with our guest, Happiness Yego. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Well, you are a media entrepreneur, you are a presenter, you do so many things, and you're also the founder of Ladies and Gentlemen. Take me through who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Mabisa Happiness Yego from the east side of Johannesburg.
Okay.
That is Vosloorus. I am a young South African leader. That's first. I am a founder and director of a company called Milani, right? Which, ladies and gentlemen, is under, right? So what this is about is I'm trying to curb the spread of gender-based violence. I'm trying to have conversations between men and women about what we think we know about each other and all of that, right? So curving, that is. I hold a qualification in public relations as well. There's a lot that I do, man.
There's a lot. I'm actually listening to it and I'm like, what don't you do?
What
don't you do? Well, take me rather through the experiences of COVID-19. You have your own business, study PR, and within the space of entertainment, and knowing that yesterday we had most of our entertainment people on the ground protesting outside the Union building in Pretoria. What are your takes on that?
First things first, I'd like to point it out that at the beginning of this whole pandemic thing breaking out, I lost a job, right? I was a PR manager for a certain company, but that wasn't so bad because I realized what it is that I wanted to do. As an artist, having this pandemic, it's really stressful.
Yes.
Why? We're not earning, we don't get paid, and the government is literally just looking at us like, we see you, but we don't, you know?
Yes.
It really is challenging. But now, the company is just recently started, right?
Okay.
It's something that I want to do, something that I'm passionate about. Right now, I'm just feeling at ease, man.
You're feeling at ease?
Yeah.
Well, lockdown level 1 has been announced. It's starting on Monday. And then take me through that feeling when you're watching the president make all these announcements.
Listen, I was like, Mamela, I'm going to be making money for some reason, right?
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people are just happy because, so what do you mean, right? But for me, it's a thing, I can have these events, I can have these talks with men and women. I can get this curve running already. I can curve the spread, and I can. I don't know, man. I just can do something about it.
Yes.
About gender-based violence, that is.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot about you that I think is very interesting, and the men of which you speak about in your leadership. What are the greatest things that you've done in your career, knowing that you started off as a presenter at a very young age, and today, looking at you today, holding a PR degree in your hand?
Well, I first started off as me being just a poet because I love writing. I write all the time.
Yes.
I love being informed. I love knowledge, right? So I go out there, I search for things.
Yes.
I want to participate in every conversation, right? So I did poetry, I did modeling. I was Miss Face of KA1, Miss Face of my primary school. Listen, I did a whole lot of things. But one of the best things I've ever done with my career, that is, it is just, I think for me, it's always been with people and for people. That's why I studied public relations to begin with, because it takes me to people, right?
Yeah.
So just being on camera, just being with people, hearing people speak, speaking on behalf of those that can't speak for themselves.
Yeah.
That is.
Where did this burning love and desire for advocating for young people, for people that have been through circumstances where you feel that it's okay, let's speak about it, it's a conversation that is worth having.
Yeah.
So where did that love, that passion start from? Where did it all begin?
Okay. So it all began when I was in high school, I think. Yes, I was in high school. And that's when I started writing, right? I'm a victim of rape. Right, and that's literally where it started, because I realized at a later stage how much that being a victim or being classified as a victim
had affected you.
Yes, had affected me and my confidence and everything that I did. Mind you, I am in the media space, and that requires you to be confident and to be out there, right? And I didn't want to stop doing what I do just because I was labeled a victim,
yes.
right? So I changed the narrative to a survivor, right? And now I started saying, yo, man, we can talk about this. I can talk about it without crying, you know? It's a conversation worth having, because I know I'm not the only one that went through it. There are people that are still going through it right now. I was very surprised when I heard married people talk
yes.
about it for the first time to me. I'm just like, but I'm young, and you guys are old and married and all of that. So how is it that you guys didn't talk about it?
Yes.
But I found that I was very fortunate to talk about it. So to me, there was, man, these people that can't talk,
yes.
They can't talk for themselves. So I have a voice. Why not use it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it all started.
Oh wow! Yeah, I think for me it's a matter of you are speaking so powerfully as a young woman, saying that it's okay, you can go through certain things.
Okay.
And I think you are, for me, a jack of all trades. And they say that when you're a jack of all trades, you're a jack of none. But there's something that you did that was beautiful within the East Rand. You joined a radio station, Kasi FM. Take me through that.
Yes, oh my word, it was so fun.
Yes?
It was so fun. I was a trainee at Kasi FM for about a month or two. I did presenting there. It was a whole lot of fun.
Yes.
But due to a whole lot of things, me being a PR manager and all of that, I had to juggle both, and I couldn't, right?
Yeah.
Because
Well, a little birdie told me it was because of isiXhosa sakho, because you speak isiXhosa.
Wow.
And there's this thing with you in English and isiXhosa on air.
Yeah. So, they were like, we need you to say something isiXhosa because of how I introduced myself.
Okay.
Right? So like, okay, cool, because you know I'm Xhosa, why not?
Yeah.
Right? And then I spoke isiXhosa and all of that, but they had a problem with my English because they were like,
Okay.
sis, you're English, man. Not everybody can hear it, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, you're rolling your words, and I'm not. I'm actually not.
It's
I'm
just how you speak.
it, right? But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the reason why.
And do you think that culture and heritage is one of the things that you should look back into and actually find a different way of how you speak, how you articulate yourself in whatever space that you find yourself in?
So now I was born up in Gauteng. I've lived in Gauteng.
In Johannesburg.
And I'm a Joburg girl, listen.
Yes.
And I've lived all my life up at Joburg. And there's a thing that Xhosa people, when they come from Eastern Cape, it's a change.
Okay.
You know? They will become Zulu and all of that, right? And English and all of
Yeah.
that. But ekhaya, I think in Ngambuzam, Zisekaya, and I didn't lose that,
Yeah.
right? Because I was taught, okay, as much as you go out there and have this English thing going on, this is home, right? And there are people that do not understand you when you speak, so teta. And yeah, I think it's very important. Once in a while, I go to Eastern Cape.
Once in a while.
You know?
But I think what serious matters, I'd like to challenge you on this. Your state of, the state of politics, what's happening in our economy, what is your take on that? I mean, there's a lot.
Well, there is a lot.
Yeah.
I see a whole lot of people complaining about the mali elastikleo or whatever it is. Man, we can't shy away from the fact that there is corruption in our country, right? But where we are right now, I think first of all, the pandemic is going down, one, which is okay, which is we probably are picking ourselves up and all of that, but there's still a lot more to happen. There's still a lot more to be done, right? So the economy right now, we're struggling. People are losing their jobs.
Yes,
people
absolutely.
are still losing their jobs. So I'm thinking it had a lot of effect in on the economy. I'm sorry, and how we are as a country. I think it affected us the most because greed and the ruling party and all of that. So there's a lot that we still need to talk about. There's a lot that still needs to happen. So there's fightings and all of that.
Yes.
Our economy and its origin is just messed up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I hear you. It's a beautiful conversation. But take me through, ladies and gents, in like 30 seconds. What is Ladies and Gents and what do you do with it?
Ladies and Gentlemen is a program that I discovered or whatever. It's where men and women meet. An event of some sort where we talk about our problems.
Okay.
Why is it that we are here? Why is it that we are at this rate of gender-based violence?
Yeah.
Why is it that there are so many killings? Why is it that there's so much hate between the two of us, men and women? What is it that I think I know about you as a man that you think you know about me, which is not true? Facts, opinions, and the maybes and the wrongs and all of that. So that's what I want to have, because believe, man, communication is key. And
Yes.
if we can talk about these things, surely there's something that can be done about it.
Absolutely.
Because firstly, I think black men are the most wounded people. Yes, women are wounded, but black men are wounded. That's why when you go to jails in South Africa, you'll find that a lot of black men are in jails. They are the ones that are feeling that out.
Take me through that point. Take me through the fact that you are mentioning black men. You are mentioning that it's very hard, wounded men. How have you come to that conclusion, or have you come to that realization that actually it's time that we find men that speak to men about their problems, or that we women come to sometimes and tell you guys that it's okay, it's fine to go through what you're going through?
Listen, men are always casted out, especially in our society. I don't like that, because we're raising boys. There's a new generation that's coming, and we can't have the same concepts. We can't have the same teachings.
Yes.
We need to learn and unlearn, right? But we need to unlearn before we learn.
Oh,
you
yes.
understand? So
Absolutely.
I came to that conclusion rather, because there is a thing that is always happening. Yes, I agree. Women are wounded in our country.
Yes.
Women are being wronged in our country. But what about men? Why is it that we don't talk about men? Why is it, who are we leaving them to? Who are they going to talk to, right? And why is it that when they go through stuff, we just put them undercover and we don't talk about these things because, hey man, you're just a man and men do these things to women, right? Can we talk about these things? Can we talk about what makes them happy? What makes them sad? What is it that makes them do what they do, right? Because there's obviously a reason. They can't just be doing what they do.
True that. I mean, I sit here every day and I broadcast to legit every part of Africa. Now, we're giving away stats of gender-based violence, men being convicted, men being accused, and men allegedly doing all sorts of wrong things. And here you are saying that we should find the core root of the problem. Do you think that men are ready to find that problem within themselves?
Hey, are you guys ready?
That's a question. That's a question, because
I don't know. I don't know. Can't speak on behalf of men.
Yes.
But looking at it, there are genuine guys, man. There are people that want to talk about this. There are people that want to help. You know, we all want to help. We all want to see the country doing better. We all want to see the world doing better.
Absolutely.
Because this is not only a pandemic in South Africa. It's everywhere, right? So I don't know if men are ready, but I hope they are ready to speak about these things. I hope somebody comes and says, I was partly the reason why somebody was wounded, or I did this to a woman and all of that, so that we can heal from that. Somebody can forgive themselves for that. And that, man, can we, for a change, I want to treat men as if they matter, because they do.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, you speak very profound. Yeah, I think there is power within what you're saying, and I think that so many people can hear you. But today is the commencement of the prelim exams for our matriculants. In 30 seconds, say something to them in that camera and motivate them.
Hi, guys. Listen. When I was in matric, it was a very difficult time for me, and it was very stressful, and I can imagine what you guys are going through right now because of this whole pandemic and everything that's going on, gender-based violence, kids being killed, all of that. It's just so confusing. But what I do want to say, though, is keep positive. There's nothing like positivity. Your mind should always be at the prize. Aim at the prize, and everything is going to be okay. Study hard. Nothing's just going to happen when you don't do anything about it. Study, 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 and everything will just happen, man.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Happiness Diego. It's a pleasure to have you right here in studio. And right there at home, man, we'll be back just quickly after this quick commercial ad break. We'll be back just after this.
God is so amazing.
Feel the heat.
The Bible says that through his death on the cross, we are now reconciled with our Father.
Forgive and you shall be forgiven.
So wherever God takes us, we're just excited about it.
As a child of God, where you are, you must have an hour of prayer.
Feel the excitement.
In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus.
I believe that God is working right now.
Feel the heat with StarSat.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents, and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support, and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
Welcome back from the ad break, and you're still watching the news brought to you by myself right here on Morning Express. The funeral service of Advocate Bezos will take place at the Greek Orthodox Church in Johannesburg today starting at 11 o'clock. And I have my fellow reporter Basetsana joining us outside of the Greek Orthodox Church in Hillbrow. Basetsana, how are you?
Good morning, Melody, Harmony, and good morning to the viewers at home.
Thank you very much. Please do take us to what is happening, the proceedings that are happening outside of the church at this point.
Certainly, as you have made mention, it is the Category 1 state funeral of the late lawyer, people's lawyer, George Bezos. We are in Hillbrow at the Greek Orthodox Church. We've seen people who are part of the program slowly trickling in as the service is set to start in an hour or more. We've seen the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, arriving. We've seen former Chief Justice Stefan Mokotane arriving, as well as former Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe. It is an auspicious funeral, Harmony, that is also taking place under strict COVID-19 conditions. Only 50 people are allowed to be in the service. Then the service will take place at 11 o'clock. I will go through the program with you as to who will be speaking. However, when the program then ends here at the church, the cortege will then travel to the West Park Cemetery. As you know, West Park Cemetery in Randburg is where people such as William Nicol are resting as their final place. It is also one of where a cemetery where the late Ahmed Kathrada was laid to rest as well. Today, we are also witnessing a very high presence of military police, South African police, the Johannesburg police also, and we are witnessing also the military, the SANDF as a whole.
Basetsana.
And what will...
Basetsana, please do give me sentiments on how is the feeling, the mood where you are at the Orthodox Greek Church outside there. How are people feeling? How are people arriving? Is COVID-19 protocols all being followed at this point before we get to understand how the procedure of the funeral is going to be undertaken?
Certainly, Harmony. All the stakeholders that are arriving here are adhering to protocols in terms of wearing a mask. There are sanitization as well as temperature checks when delegates arrive at the funeral. And also, just to give you a sense of how the mood is, I'm going to ask my colleague here to just do a 360 and show you what is happening around the church. The church is within the CBD of Hillbrow. And people are out in their balconies. I'll just ask my colleague here to just give you those visuals. People are out on their balconies. They want to see who is here. They want to witness who is here. They want to see the delegates that are coming through. You know, as soon as the sirens, the police sirens start ringing, they come out in their numbers just to see who is it that is currently arriving. The atmosphere around the church and the people who are arriving is also that one of a somber one, as you may imagine. This is yet another funeral in a very short space of time of an icon in South African political sphere. So yet another loss of a legend and someone who has so much history and who has had so much to impart to people. I mean, a lot of people are saying that George Bizos was really a lawyer at heart.
Yes.
He did travel in his early age to South Africa from Greece and, got the bar in Johannesburg. He has gone on to trial at the Delmers treason trial with people such as Pomolefe, as well as Tualikota, who we had in the morning on our programming here at Galaxy Universal Network.
Absolutely, I hear you, Basetsana, but take me through, are you journalists, the reporters, going to be allowed to get inside the church and give us a feeling and understanding on what the family and friends and veterans that have walked this journey with him have to say in regarding making sure that you guys give us all the feedback and visuals there at the Greek Orthodox Church?
As I've made mention that the funeral is taking place under strict COVID-19 conditions, we as journalists and reporters, we do have, the liberty to visualize everything that is happening here. However, we do have to follow precautions and the restrictions that are applied. As I've made mention, only 50 people are allowed inside, let alone not just the church, but the gate of the church. But however, we do have access, and indeed we will, as the day goes by, we will be speaking to some of the heads of state that are here, some of the family representatives that are here, and other people who are inside the church who are, following the funeral proceedings. However, we as the media, other people who are involved, some police officers, we are outside the gate as per the strict COVID-19 restrictions.
I hear you, Basetsana. Thank you very much for bringing us the latest update on what is happening right outside Hillbrow, the Greek Orthodox Church. And please do make sure that everybody watching Galaxy Universal Network, you catch it live, brought to you by Basetsana, our field reporter outside the church.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Basetsana, for joining us. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for joining us right here on the Morning Express. And these were the leading headlines and our special feature by the name of Happiness Sieko. See you guys same time, same place tomorrow morning at 9:30. Have a good one.